So just be quiet. Remember, you're on camera. Hi, everyone. Say hi, 6th period.
Hi, 6th period.
Like and subscribe. All right. So we're gonna jump straight into it, talking about while loops and until loops. But before I do that, I want to say thanks to my sponsors. All right, my Patreon supporters, and also want to get everything up and going here. So I'm really trying to have a lot of videos. Kind of, just kidding. You know what I'm talking about. I hate that secret
Your
of the
producer
tutorials.
here. Let's cram like 8-minute
All right.
ad
Before we get
here.
into the video, let's talk for 10 minutes before I give you a little bit. Okay, so seriously though, while loops versus until loops. I know, take those out there if you don't mind. I know we talked about the difference between while loops and for loops, okay? Last week we talked about for loops or repeat loops. Those happen whenever you know how many times you're going to loop, right? Repeat 5 or repeat 10 or something like that. We talked about that. So that's when you know how many times you're going to loop. So a while loop or an until loop is when you don't know. All right? When you're writing the code, you don't know if the problem is going, problem that you're trying to solve is going to last for a minute or 10 minutes. In code.org, the way that shows up is you don't know if there's going to be a pile that's 10 feet or 5 feet high or 20 feet. You know what I'm talking about? Also, I think in the honeybee problems, isn't there like a little cloud sometimes?
Yeah.
And you don't know how much honey there is, okay? You might think, oh, they're just trying to be cute and stuff like that. In actuality, it's a real situation where you want to write code that's going to work no matter what number the user types in, okay? So you want to be able to write a game that's going to work if the user throws 5 grenades or 10 grenades or 2 grenades or no grenades. You know what I mean? You want it to work and show up the proper number every single time, okay? So that's when you would use a while or an until. That is when you don't know how many times to loop. And you might say, well then what's the big difference between a while and an until? Okay, well, let me give you an example. I'll put it over, I'll leave that up there. This is a situation you probably have run across. While there is a pile, that's sort of like the farmer example. If you're wanting to remove the whole entire pile, you might say, while there's a pile, and then what sentence would I put right here? Remove. How much? 1. So this is going to go on and on and on until there is no more pile. Okay? So this is pseudocode, but we can handle pseudocode. So you might want to think of it like this. There's a loop condition. There's a situation or a condition that makes us go around. In this case, the loop condition is there's a pile. The exit condition, where there's no, see, you could write my own notes. All right, I don't think you will. Let's talk about an until. I think they had some until, so it'll say repeat until. There was some Angry Birds code that had an until, like repeat until there's the pig. Now they had the pig face. I don't even know how to draw a pig face. Like a nose. That's perfect.
Beautiful. Ears.
Oh.
That's a cat.
That kind
It
of
looks like Hitler.
Well, what do pigs' ears look like?
It's Hitler. Pig Hitler.
Pig Hitler?
Yeah.
Hitler? Alright. Alright, so repeat until pig, and then you might have like some sort of stair-step code, like, I'll just abbreviate it. Move forward, turn right, move forward, turn left. You know what I'm talking about? Like it'll be like, so that the bird is going, something like that, and you just keep doing that same thing over and over again until you hit the pig, right? Think about this. What's the loop condition here?
You haven't hit the
Until
pig.
you reach no
There
pig.
is no pig.
No pig.
Oh.
So you're like, I'm at the pig, or is there no pig? Yeah, go around. No pig, go around. No pig, go around. What's the exit condition?
Pig.
All right. The interesting thing is that Java, and pretty much most programming languages, do not have an until code. Like, they don't have an until keyword, right? Instead, they just have a while. You may be like, that seems kind of strange. I would think that there might be some situations which you would want an until. And you're like, yeah, you might think that. The thing is that anything that you can write as an until, you could actually write it as a while.
Equals false.
Yep. So we'll say both can be written as a while loop. You would just say while not pig. Move forward, turn right, move forward, turn right. Think of it like that. What's the loop condition?
Not pig.
No pig. What's the exit condition? Pig.
Whoa.
So you see, it would work the same way. Let me kick back over here. I think in the B, sometimes you see something like repeat until you hit a flower. Is that right? Does that sound right? Like it repeats until you hit a flower? How could you cast that or convert that into a while loop?
Well, there's no flower.
While you're not at the flower. Yeah. So it just depends on what your situation fits. If you have a situation seems to match like an until sort of scenario, like I want this to loop until this happens, okay? So if this is what you're thinking, I want to loop until X happens. The way you write that down in code is you negate it, which if you take in geometry, well, some of you haven't taken that yet, but you can negate it. You can say the opposite. You say not X, and you stick it inside a while loop. The way you would write that is you can say while. So I want to loop until X happens. So has X happened? Nope. Has X happened? Nope. Has X happened? Nope. X happens. X happens. Kick out. All right. So the way you would write that is you'd say while not X. Do the loop. Do the loop. Do the loop. Do the loop. So you're like, has X happened? Nope. Has X happened? Nope. Has X happened? Nope. Has X happened? Yeah, it did. Okay. Then you would kick out. So a little bit later on, when we deal with one of the programming languages, we're gonna have like little guys that go around a circle, and I'm gonna say like, what's your stopping condition? You're saying, the stopping condition is when it gets to the corner, and I'm gonna say, okay, so how can we loop? So we would say loop until he reaches the corner. Until he's at the corner, do your stuff. How could you convert that into a while loop? Yeah, while he's not at the corner, do all this stuff. Then when he finally hits the corner, then it'll kick out. Anna, you're looking kind of skeptical. So you're looking kind of like, I'm not sure I buy all this. Don't need to worry about understanding all of it yet, and about applying it. There's a couple things I just want you to realize. I just want you to realize, I guess, point number one is that an until can be written as a while. And the only difference is that it's negated. Instead of saying repeat until the pig, you just say, while there's not a pig, do this stuff. Okay? So, for instance, let's say you want me to take a step forward and you want me to stop at the door. Anson, give it to me in terms of an until statement.
Repeat until at door.
Okay, repeat until at door. I'm at the door? Nope. 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 See, each time I'm taking one step forward, right? Repeat until, oh, I'm at the door, I'm going to stop. Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about how I'm going to say this. Dalton, how can I cast this as a while loop?
While not door.
While not door.
Move forward.
Move forward, okay? Am I at the door?
No.
No? Okay, so I'm moving forward. Am I at the door?
Nope.
Oh, so I'm moving forward.
Nope.
Now keep going.
Nope.
So I hit the door. And then I
Open
would
the
stop.
door and then
Walk out, leave. Okay. I want to say that I have seen an until in Swift, which is the programming language that they use for your iPhone and your iWatch and Apple TV, stuff like that nowadays. I want to say that there's an until in that or in Python, but I can't remember. I forgot to look that up. Anyway, newer programming students really love the until because for whatever it's easier because well, there's some programming situations where an until makes sense, and it's hard to it's part of the programming mindset to switch from an until to a while. Just write it as an until, that makes more sense. You know what I mean? Saying while not at this situation kind of makes you go, huh? But that's just because the programming teachers need to teach this one very simple concept, and that is that an until can be turned into a while if you just negate what's called the looping condition. Okay? That's all I want to show you. We will revisit this later on throughout the year. And normally it's going to be in the situation of you're programming one of the games in Scratch where you're doing something with a little robot and you're like, I want this to keep going while they don't press the button, you know, and I'll say, okay, well, you don't have, like, there's no until, and I'll say, okay, remember, if you're going to while, turn it, you know, negate it, and you can turn it into an until into a while. But just remember this conversation at that point. Hold on to those notes, and I'll be giving you some credit for those later. All right? Any questions? All right, I will walk around and check some of your code.org stuff if you have a question on that. Anson, you can kill it, like and subscribe.